Today I want to talk about why ukulele is the perfect instrument to learn some really basic music theory, alright? And the reason that is because it's 4 strings. And I think that's a very important number of strings. Like guitar has 6 strings, obviously. And I'm not talking about like a bass. This is going to be the difference between like a bass and a ukulele. Even though they both have 4 strings, they're different for different reasons. Guitar has 6 strings, but a chord is usually 3 different notes. Alright? So you can play a different note on each string on a guitar and you have a 6-note chord, but really we don't use 6-note chords that much, especially on like a stringed instrument like a guitar or ukulele. But a 4-stringed instrument is kind of perfect because the difference between 3 notes in a chord and 4 notes in a chord is basically the most important thing for your music theory that you could ever do. So let's just do an example of this, and let's do this with a G major chord. Alright, so I've got open on the 1st string, 2 on the 2nd string, 3 on the 3rd string, and 2 on the 4th string. So the notes in this chord are G, B, and D. Let's go through them real quick. We have a G, an open G on the G string, makes sense. On the C string we have a D, and then on the E string we have another G. So you'll notice that this note and this note are the same notes. We have 2 Gs, and then on the highest string, the A string, we have a B. So G, D, G, B. Alright, any combination of a G, a B, and a D in any order will give you a G major chord. Alright, you can also do different chord voicings, like even if we wanted to add another flavor to it, we could actually take the B on the G string like this, 4th fret on that 1st string, again, a small difference, but again, it's just an example of how any way you cut these numbers up or these notes up, you get the same chord. Now, once you change one of those notes and add a different thing is when we change the name of the chord, alright? Now, if you'll notice, if you know anything about music theory from like a scale standpoint, every key, the key of G, for instance, has 7 different notes. G, A, B, C, D, E, and F sharp. Alright, so to make that major chord, you take the 1st note, the 3rd note, and the 5th note. Alright, so you end up with a G, a B, and a D. And like I said, any combination, regardless of which comes first, is going to give you that G major chord. But why it's perfect is if you just change one of those notes to make a 4-note chord, again, not a triad is a 3-note chord, a 4-note chord, we'll change the name of that chord and we'll change it in a way that you can really substantially hear it. Like I said, there isn't a huge sonic difference between this, especially because it's the 1st string, so it's the thinnest string. But as soon as you do something like this, I've only changed one note. Instead of going open 2, 3, 2, I went open 2, 2, 2. And it's a way different vibe, right? G major to what's this? Well, I changed the G to the F sharp, okay? In this key of G, what number is F sharp? It's actually the 7th. So this is a G major 7. Major 7 chords happen to be my favorite chords on any kind of instrument, whether it be ukulele, guitar, piano, whatever. It's great. So now we have a 4-note chord. We're adding that F sharp to the G major triad. Thus, we're getting a G major 7. And then you can move this all over the place, right? We can move this down 2 frets and then have the open string come with us. And now this becomes a new chord that we could use anywhere. Just having a major 7 chord voicing. Let's continue and then continue descending through that 3rd string, and now let's add this. So instead of open 2, 3, 2, and instead of open 2, 2, 2, we're getting open 2, 1, 2. In fact, there's a couple songs that start that way. I think, what is that song? Kiss Me? Might not be in this key. Maybe it is in this key. But basically what we've done here is we've taken an F and added it to a G major chord. Alright, now as we went through those notes in the key of G earlier, F is not in there. It's an F sharp. But there is a key that has a G major chord in it and also has an F note in it. The key of C, actually, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, is that key. And this is a G dominant 7 chord. A dominant 7 chord is a major 7 chord with a flat 7 is a good way to think about it. All right, so again, this is a 7th note flat in that, G7. All right, so G, G major 7, G7, G, B, D, F. And then you could even take this as kind of a movable shape if you just think of, these notes together without the G. But yeah, anyways, let's keep going. So let's take this first fret and then open it up. So now it's just an open E string. Open to, open to. So now we have a G, a B, a D, and an E. What is in the key of G? This note exists. What note is it? G, A, B, C, D, E. It's the 6th note. So we can think of this as a G major 6. So just by taking one note and changing it, we've gotten 4 different chords. G major, G major 7, G7, G major 6. And you can think of just jamming on this G chord, playing around with it, but we are making 4 different chords, and I think that's a really important thing to start understanding regardless of what instrument you play. And that's what's really cool about the ukulele, is because you are limited to only playing at the maximum 4 different notes at one time. So I think it's an easier way to start conceptualizing it. We can go into like a bunch of different chords too. If you really wanted to, you could do the same thing over a C major chord, where it's open, 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 3, and again, the notes here would be a G, a C, an E, which is a C major chord. Remember, C, you take the 1st, 3rd, and 5th of any key, C, D, E, F, G, and then we have an extra C on top here. So the same thing we do with that G, where we take that top G and keep backing it down, do the same thing with the C. So C major 7, C dominant 7, C major 6 would be one way to look at that chord. But again, I think that's why ukulele is really a great complement to any other instrument, because it's a much easier way to get into extended chords, which is what these are called. And then you can kind of go on from there, but I really think it's a great way to start thinking about music theory, and then just practically using these musically, and then just learning different chord voicings that are really not that hard to do. Like I said, all of these are the same difficulty, in my opinion. So yeah, just one extra reason to get your ukulele out and start playing it. Thanks to Journey Instruments for sending this over. There's an affiliate link in the description if you guys are interested. Let me know if you have any other questions. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks a lot.